Hey folks, my name is Jake. Welcome back to Canadian Cutting Edge. I know videos have been a little sporadic lately. I've just been so busy with stuff around the house and things, chores to do, and technical problems with computers and things. Yeah, it just gets busy sometimes. Today we're going to take a look at this. This is the Bison from QSP Knives. This is a very nice hunting knife, survival knife, if you will. Got quite thick stock, like not super thick at all, but fairly thick stock. We've got sort of a Bowie style blade here. Uh, Fairly high flat grind there. D2 steel. I wish they would make it also in a stainless steel and give us the option. That would have been awesome. You got 3 different colors of micarta to choose from, and we've got big, nice stainless steel screws if you want to take the handle scales off. Maybe you want to make your own handle scales. Who knows? It's, of course, a full tang knife, and it's not quite a mirror polish, but it's a polished D2 blade. If you like fixed blades, you're probably going to like this one, so stick around. The full review is coming to you right now. I've got 2 of them. Yeah. One of them I bought. One of them I got sent directly from QSP Knives. Let's look at the knife. First off, the sheath. I showed you the knife in the intro. This is how it comes. So we've got a big loop, sort of not a dangle, but sort of a loose, huge loop. And we've got this sort of fake tech lock style. Comes together with them both. Of course, you can take it off like I did here. And I've just got the belt loop now. And as you can see clearly, if you don't like the knife that low on your hip, like at belt level, if you like it higher up, you just move this down, and that's higher up. I like carrying it like this. I wouldn't mind if it was even higher up, so the knife was lower down on my leg. That'd be nice. But yeah, good system. So if you like, this kind of thing, of course, these pieces are removable, so that if you've got a very wide belt, they're a little harder to grab. My fingers just aren't working these days. There we go. See, they come out like that, and then you could put a wider belt in there, or even a very narrow belt. And of course, that lever holds onto it. Very functional, pretty nice. So that's that part of the sheath. Let's take the knives out. I would have liked, I'll show it on this one. I would have liked if they would have had this bent out a little bit right there, so that you've got something more to push on. But yeah, you just push on there with your thumb and grab the knife, push on there, and it comes out. Very good retention. You can hear that click. No shaky. The noise you're hearing is this flapping. So yeah, nice. Quite nice indeed. This knife comes in 3 colors. They're all micarta. What we've got here is, this is the green. And, it's a pretty light sort of OD green. This is the blue. This is denim. And you've also got black micarta. So those are the choices you get. Now the colors don't look terribly different on, this camera is not picking up much difference. And that's because the human eye doesn't see an awful lot of difference between the 2 of these either. Of course, this one's darker, like a dark denim. So the micarta is quite nice. I quite like it. So let's put one of these off to the side so it's out of the way. There we go. Now it's going to focus on. Here's the knife. Look at that. We've got, did I measure this already? Nope, they're bigger than that. These are T15. I got my nice Weeha T15, and they fit in there very snugly. And the pins, they're free spinning in there here. I took the other one apart. You can see these pins are just all the way around. So you do need a driver, one on either side, to take it apart. You can see a little bit of thread locker in there. And it looks like these are, epoxied or somehow glued on. The fit and finish here, it's a perfect match. You can't even get close, just rubbing across it, it's just a perfect match. So I believe, and it'll be on text on the screen giving the full confirmation. I emailed the marketing rep at QSP who sent me one of these and asked her if these are glued on or not. And I won't hear back while I'm recording this, but it'll be on the screen in text what her reply was. So yeah, I think they are glued on. The handle scales, as you can see, they're 3D milled. Let me get a little closer, so hopefully you can see that. See, it's wide here. It comes in at this screw here. It swells out here. It comes back in here. And same thing here. It swells here. It comes back in. Very comfortable. My hand size loves how this feels. It's just excellent. And my hand size is just between large and extra large. North American men's glove sizes. So I love that size. It's just wonderful. The lanyard hole is perfectly placed. I would have liked if they would have maybe chamfered those edges a little bit, but hey, you can do that at home, no problem, if you want to do that. So quite nice, very beautiful. There's a good amount of grip on this, and it feels excellent. Now for the blade, I'll do all the dimensions later on, but we've got a nice thick, full tang blade. We've got a swedge here on this clip point, a nice Bowie style hunting survival kind of knife shape. Good belly, long straight edge, big sharpness choil. Now, a lot of companies are doing sharpness choils like this. This is a big sharpness choil, bigger than it needs to be for just sharpening, but too small to be a forward choil with, putting your grip up here. So I would have liked that sharpness choil to be smaller, actually. But this knife, you'll be able to sharpen this thing loads of times before you get it sharpened up to the end of that choil. And by then, it'll just be too thick to use as well. So it's quite good. But with the plunge ending right about where my fingernail is, you can see there's that extra distance there. They could have brought that cutting edge back just a little bit further. Not a big deal at all, but I think I would have liked that. We've got vertical sanding instead of horizontal sanding lines, which I quite like. It looks nice. And then it's fairly polished. Like I said in the intro, you can see the reflection of my hand on the blade there. So it's fairly well polished. That helps it not to corrode. It is D2 steel, so it's not a stainless steel, although D2 has quite a bit of chromium, so it doesn't corrode extremely easily in most environments. Quite nice. We've got some big jimping back here, blocky jimping, which is well done. I wouldn't have minded if it came out a little bit further. There's no flat, sharp 90-degree edge like for striking a ferro rod if you want that. You'll have to file it down yourself and create a 90-degree edge somewhere if you want to strike a ferro rod with this thing. I think it would have been nice if this would have come, especially since they've got this section out here already, if it would have come with a thing for a ferrocerium rod, that would have been really nice. And then, right up here at the end of the jimping, put a 90-degree edge for striking. That'd be great. This knife is thick enough, sturdy enough, D2 steel strong enough. This is great for doing kindling kind of batoning. If you use a knife to do batoning, I sometimes use a knife for batoning, but only for kindling batoning. So I'm breaking off pieces, the size of a knife, not trying to split a log in half or anything. So there you go. That is the dimensions and everything. The badging on the knife, there's a little D2 right there. And on this side, we've got the QSP on the bevel. I don't prefer it there, but it's not too terribly big. And yeah, it's okay right there. I wouldn't mind if it was a little bit smaller and up here on the flat, just like the D2 is. So that's the overview of the shape of the knife. How well does it cut? It cuts quite well. It's fairly sharp from the factory, sharper than most knives that I review. Which one does have... This one I've sharpened myself so that I could test it. I put on a 20-degree edge, but I measured both of them. This one and this one came out to an average of 100 bests, which is quite sharp, quite a bit sharper than average. But they're a little bit thick behind the grind. I'll go through all the measurements in just a minute. But it cuts quite good. It pierces quite well. It's not a very great stabbing knife, but it certainly isn't bad at all. You could use it for skinning. You could use it for like skinning a critter. I mean, this is a very, very utilitarian kind of knife shape. Let's put that one back because this is the one that's assembled. I think it looks great as well. Look at that knife. It's a beautiful knife. Now, let's go over all the sizes, dimensions, and all that stuff. Okay, like I said, the sharpness from the factory, 100 bests. Average from what I review is about 140, so not bad at all. It's sharper than most. That's really nice. The weight of this thing, where did I have my weights written down? There you go. 202 grams, 7.15 ounces. The sheath, and I weighed it with, this one, with both parts on it. So it's going to be lighter, you know, like this one is definitely lighter than this one because this piece has got, you know, weight to it. But all the sheath components together is 140 grams, 4.95 ounces. So yeah, lighter like this. And together with everything, 342 grams, 12.1 ounces. So yeah, this is a knife you have to want to carry because you're carrying, you know, a bit of weight. It's not bad weight though, it's good weight. I really like that. The measurements now. The cutting edge length, 106.4 millimeters, 4.19 inches. The blade length tip to the micarta is 113.7 millimeters, 4.48 inches. The thickness of the blade, 4.17 millimeters, 6.164 of an inch, well over 1/8 of an inch. The blade depth this way, it's actually widest right here, and that is 30.9 millimeters, 1.22 inches. How thick is it behind the grind? 0.66 millimeters, 26/1000 of an inch. Now, I would have liked that to be smaller, but this makes it a very sturdy, tough, robust knife. The grind angles, not so good. Not so good at all. On this one, I'd say average of 19.6 degrees and 23 degrees. But in reality, you know, it's about 21 here, and then 19, and then 18, and then back to 20, 20 at 20.5, and then here it's 20. This side, 25, actually more like 26, 25.7 it was, so 26, rounded 24, 23, 22, 21, and back to 22. You know, it's just not that great. This knife, it started at 24.3, 21, 19 by here, 18.5 on the tip. This side, 18.7, you know, about 17, and then a little over 22 there. So there's a lot of variability on here. I sharpened it for my testing to 20 degrees per side to give it a really tough edge. And it cuts quite a bit better after I sharpened it. So it had 100 bests from the factory. After I sharpened it down to about 25 bests, you know, it's just a great knife. And of course, you can polish the edge and make it even better than that if you want to. So the sharpening, it's not super terrible. it's not a lot of variability. The max variability was 4.4 degrees along the length of one edge. That's not good, but most of them, it's more like 2 degrees along the length of the other 3 edges. So the other 3 sides, I should say. So yeah, that's what factory sharpening is like these days. From every brand. It's just the way it is. Unless you've got factory sharpening, like Mora uses machines to make their bevels instead of humans. Okay, back to measurements. The handle length, 110.3 millimeters. That's 4.34 inches. The thickness of the handle, the most narrow point, and it's almost the same on both of these points. That's about 17.3 millimeters, 0.681. And the widest point in the middle, 20 millimeters, 0.787 of an inch. The handle depth, the widest point within the grip, I'm going to say measure it right here, 26.8 degrees, 1.055 of an inch. The, where's the other length? The grip area. The grip area is about 9 centimeters, about 3.5 inches. And the total length of this thing is 225 millimeters, which is 8.86 inches. So it's a bit shy of 9 inches, as you can see on here. Actually, the numbers are hard to read with the way the light is, eh? Now, well, I guess the ruler was a bust. So what are my thoughts on this thing? Well, first the price, actually. How much does this cost? At White Mountain Knives, it is $79.88 for any one of these 3. Take off 10% with coupon code CCE, $71.89 American. So 72 American dollars for this knife. Is it worth the price? Actually, I think it might be. I think it is. I'm glad I've got one that, I got one given to me and the other one I bought. So one of them will be available as a prize or I'll sell it. But I'm going to be keeping the other one. It's going into my permanent collection. I like it that much. And I'm probably going to keep, the denim one. It's just a nice knife. And I've used this one the most. So it's got most of my skin oils on there already. My body fluids, if you will. It's just a nice knife. The sheath is awesome. It holds on great. It looks good. You've got a drain hole down here I didn't mention before on the end of the sheath, this taco style sheath. It's a nice knife, and I think it's worth the price. It looks good, feels good, it's functional. It's a good hunting survival kind of knife, minus the 90-degree edge, but you can do that yourself. It's hardened already, so it's going to be hard to file it down and create a hard edge. But if you've got a grinder, you can easily do it. You just grind a tiny bit, dunk it in water, grind a tiny bit, dunk it in water. As long as this edge doesn't get hot, a little bit of heat up here, it's not going to hurt that much. But the way this is now, it's quite useful. You can always carry a ferrocerium rod that's got a striker with it. Like, it's not that hard. It's not rocket science. So I'm very happy with this knife. I like that they give us dual options with the sheath. And, if you want to, you probably could, use some of these holes, add on a ferrocerium rod holder. You might have to make it yourself or something, but I really wish that it came with that option at least, so that you could mount it or take it off. I'm happy with the knife. The only thing I dislike, maybe only is a stretch, the main thing I dislike about this knife is I wish it also came as a stainless steel version, so that the consumer could choose if they want D2 or if they want stainless steel. That would be really nice. If sales do really well with this, who knows? Maybe they'll make a stainless steel version. Let us know in the comments below if you would prefer stainless steel or if you like the D2. So there you go. Thank you, my friends, for watching this video. Thanks so much for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, friends, always support Canadian Cutting Edge, and then cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.